This week on Q&A, we continue our look at government watchdog groups. This week features Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton.
Tom Fitton, can you remember when you first got interested in corruption?
Well, it was during the Clinton administration. I thought the Clinton administration was terribly corrupt. I was running my own website at the time, blogging before blogging was cool. It was called Opinion Inc. And I thought it was just extraordinary that you had credible allegations that the Clinton administration was doing illegal fundraising in the White House, raising money illegally from abroad, the target of a communist Chinese operation to influence our elections, and there really being no accountability about that. And I thought it was important to highlight that. And I ran into Judicial Watch, which I thought was, back in the late 90s, was alone in not only saying the right things, but also doing the right things in terms of being hard-charging and aggressive.
Define Judicial Watch's mission.
Well, Judicial Watch is a nonpartisan educational foundation that seeks greater accountability, transparency, and better adherence to the rule of law for not only politicians but for judges as well. And we seek to expose and uncover what the government is up to, especially as it relates to corruption. And we use a variety of tools to do that. The chief among them is the Freedom of Information Act, which is a nearly 40-year-old, over 40-year-old federal law that allows activists like Judicial Watch, activist groups like Judicial Watch, and regular citizens and the news media to gain access to information about government operations. And what Judicial Watch is willing to do in that process that others sometimes don't do and can't do when the government doesn't follow the law and release the information as it's required to. And the media would love to sue virtually every time they're not given the documents they want in a timely fashion. Well, we often do, and as a result we're able to extract a lot of information out about government operations that others really can't.
Last week we talked with Melanie Sloan, who is the Executive Director of the Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, and acknowledged that they come from the liberal side of the spectrum.
Sure.
Do you acknowledge you come from the conservative side, and if so, why?
Well, we are a conservative side of the good government crowd, as I like to call it. I think some of our colleagues in the good government side of the aisle from the other side in terms of ideology, I don't think understand that the size of government has a lot to do with the corruption. And when you have unlimited government in terms of size and scope, when you have the government spending, was it $3.6 trillion is the proposed budget, I think corruption is going to flow to that like light into a black hole, and it's inescapable. And so we're a little bit more suspicious of government activity and understand that when the government's involved in all aspects of our lives, especially financial and economic, there's a tremendous temptation to evade the law and corruptly influence how that money is being spent and how that power is being distributed.
We have some video that you were responsible for getting made public from September 11, 2001. We'll put it on the screen. People can see it. You can see it there. What is this?
Well, this is Pentagon video of the 9/11 attack on the Pentagon. It shows the American Airlines plane, I believe, hitting the Pentagon. And it was released several years after the fact to Judicial Watch, after we filed a Freedom of Information Act request and get a response. We had to file a lawsuit. The government said they didn't want to release it until after a criminal trial was done. I think it was Zacharias Moussaoi's trial. I think what's interesting is I think your listeners and your viewers may be interested in how we go about figuring out what to ask for. You would have thought this would be a video that was clamored for by the media and just by other interested parties. A supporter of Judicial Watch came up to me at a meeting one day and was complaining that we needed to investigate whether 9/11 was some type of inside job, whether we were getting the full truth about it. And of course I was skeptical about it. I'd already looked into the issue, and I thought, being a resident of Washington, and I knew exactly what happened on 9/11, and I think questions about it were frankly inappropriate and not based on fact. But the supporter raised the point. He said, well, how come they're not releasing the video of the hit on the Pentagon? And I asked him more about it. He says, well, they're not releasing the videotape. There are videotapes and they haven't been released. And I said, well, we'll ask for the videotape then. So we asked for the videotape, and it resulted in the release of the videotape years after the fact. And, we all like to remember 9/11 and acknowledge its importance, but even, after years after the fact, I couldn't believe the intense interest in the release of this video. And
so give us the time frame on it. When did you actually file the Freedom of Information Act?
Well, going back, you may actually have it in your papers better than I have it in my memory. It probably took about a year from the time we asked about it to the time we obtained it. So I think we obtained it in 2005, 2006. It's available on YouTube, so you can see the exact date of when it was released. It's gotten over 1.5 million hits on YouTube, and that was almost an immediate number of hits that had occurred. Our web servers were shut down. The Pentagon tried to put it up on its web servers, and they had difficulty managing the interest. But this was an example that the biggest historic event in our lifetime, probably of the last 100 years, arguably, in terms of United States history, in terms of even our history generally. And it was only Judicial Watch that asked the question to get this video out, and it was only Judicial Watch that sued to get the video. It's just incredible to me just how many important events happen in Washington, and there's initial reporting on it, substantial and good newspaper reporting on it, obviously great public interest, but no one asks for the background info to find out more of the truth and get all the details about important public events. And it's amazing to me just how few are out there and how clear the field is in terms of independent inquiry of our government. And so I think our role as a result is just terribly important, and it ought to be important to not only conservatives and liberals, but Democrats and Republicans.
How much money did you spend to get that released?
Well, probably a few $1,000s in legal and staff time, and it's not a tremendous outlay, but obviously the impact is leveraged.
And the year that you actually got it released, do you remember?
I think it was 2006.
So you're talking 5 years.
5 years
to get this released.
Yes.
And you were the only ones asking for it.
And we were the only ones asking for it. Now, others may have been asking for it, to be fair, but it was released in response to our lawsuit, and in many ways, I thought it would just put to rest some of these 9/11 conspiracy theories, but those conspiracy theories are never going to be put to rest, no matter how much information is put out there.
What year was Judicial Watch founded, and who founded it?
It was founded in 1994. The founding chairman was Larry Klayman, and so we're 15 years this year. 15 years been around, and the big question was, because we were known as being aggressive in terms of going after anti-Clinton corruption, what would happen after that? And we prospered during the Bush years. The problem with George Bush is, I think many of his supporters would acknowledge, is that they were too secretive and frankly too arrogant when it came to accounting itself to the American people. So as a result, we had many opportunities to highlight problems in the Bush administration, not only in terms of transparency, but ethics, and we had some major cases over the Bush administration. And as a result of our willingness to hold both parties to account, we weren't a Republican front group. We're nonpartisan. We don't pick and choose our battles based on party. We gained a lot of respect from the media and those who frankly had criticized us during the Clinton years as only being anti-Clinton as opposed to anti-corruption.
When did you take over as the boss?
Well, I was president. I've been president for 11 years, and Klayman left 6 years ago now, almost. So I've been around for a long time. So I've been at Judicial Watch and seen its pretty much all the highlights in the 11 years I've been there.
How many people work there?
We have about 25.
I talked to Melanie Sloan last week in the crew operation. She had 13 people and a budget of about $3 million. What's your budget?
We have 25 people, a budget about a little under $10 million these days.
We asked her, well, we can go into this later on the funding thing, because I want to show first. You said that you started because of Bill Clinton. Let's look at what Melanie Sloan says about the crew and what their #1 mission was.
When I would